Have you ever been in a meeting or a group discussion and noticed that the person you consider the smartest, the most knowledgeable, just sits there, listening, while everyone else is talking over each other? It's a common scenario, and it might leave you wondering, why do smart people often stay silent in groups? It's not because they don't have anything to say. In fact, it's often the opposite. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind this fascinating behavior. First, let's talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is a cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. In a group setting, this means the least knowledgeable people are often the most confident and vocal. They don't know what they don't know, so they speak with absolute certainty. On the flip side, highly competent people often underestimate their own ability relative to others. They are acutely aware of the vastness of a subject and the nuances they have yet to master. This awareness can make them more cautious and less likely to jump into a discussion with sweeping statements. They understand that real expertise is complex, and simple answers are rarely correct. Another key reason is strategic listening. Smart people understand that you learn nothing while you're talking. When they're silent, they're not being passive. They're actively gathering information. They listen to what's being said, but more importantly, they listen to what's asterisk, not asterisk, being said. They're analyzing different perspectives, identifying underlying assumptions, and connecting dots that others might miss. It's like a chess master observing the board, understanding all the pieces and their potential moves before making their own. By the time they do speak, their contribution is often well thought out, precise, and impactful, capable of reframing the entire conversation. Then, there's the cost-benefit analysis. Intelligent individuals are often very efficient with their energy, and that includes their social and intellectual energy. They subconsciously ask themselves, is it worth it to speak up right now? They weigh the potential benefits of contributing against the potential costs. What's the cost? This could be getting drawn into a pointless argument, having their nuanced point misunderstood, or dealing with defensive reactions from people who feel challenged. If the group dynamic is chaotic or unreceptive, they may conclude that the energy expenditure isn't worth the likely outcome. They'd rather save their insights for a moment when they can truly make a difference, or for a discussion with people who are genuinely open to new ideas. This ties into something called intellectual humility. Truly smart people are comfortable with not knowing everything. They don't have a deep-seated need to prove their intelligence to others. Their self-worth isn't tied to being the loudest person in the room or winning every debate. This humility allows them to listen without their ego getting in the way. They are more interested in finding the best solution or understanding the truth than in being right. This is a stark contrast to those who use conversations as a battleground to assert their dominance. For the intellectually humble, silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of a secure and confident mind. Let's also consider the processing speed. People with high cognitive abilities often think in complex, multi-layered ways. When a question is posed, their minds might be simultaneously exploring multiple angles, potential outcomes, and long-term implications. This deep processing takes time. While others are quick to offer surface-level responses, the smart person is building a comprehensive mental model of the situation. They might remain silent because they are literally in the middle of a thought process that is far more intricate than the rapid-fire conversation allows for. They're not slow. Their thinking is just deeper. When they finally synthesize their thoughts, the result is often a perspective that is far more insightful. Furthermore, they often possess a high level of emotional intelligence. They can read the room. They can sense the group's mood, identify the underlying social dynamics, and recognize when a comment, even a correct one, might do more harm than good by alienating someone or derailing the group's morale. They might stay silent, not because they don't have the answer, but because they recognize that the group isn't emotionally ready to hear it. They might choose to speak to a key person privately after the meeting, or wait for a more opportune moment to introduce their idea. This is a strategic choice, prioritizing long-term collaboration and group harmony over a momentary intellectual victory. Another factor is the fear of being misunderstood. When your thoughts are complex, simplifying them for a group can be challenging. There's a risk that your idea will be oversimplified, misinterpreted, or taken out of context. This can be incredibly frustrating. A smart person might have a brilliant, nuanced solution. But if they know the group is likely to only grasp a distorted version of it, they might choose not to share it at all. It's a form of self-preservation, protecting their ideas from being mangled and protecting themselves from the frustration of having to constantly correct misinterpretations. Think about it this way. A novice sees a problem and immediately shouts out the first solution that comes to mind. An expert sees the same problem and understands that it's connected to 10 other problems, and that the obvious solution will create 5 new ones. This big picture thinking is a hallmark of intelligence. They see the forest, not just the trees, while others are busy debating the best way to chop down a single tree. The silent observer is mapping out the entire ecosystem, considering the long-term health of the forest. Their silence is the sound of them thinking several steps ahead. So, the next time you're in a group and you see that quiet, observant person, don't mistake their silence for disinterest or a lack of knowledge. Recognize that you might be witnessing a master at work. They are listening, processing, analyzing, and strategizing. They are practicing intellectual humility and emotional intelligence. They are waiting for the right moment to contribute something of real value. Their silence isn't empty, it's full of thought. Maybe we can all learn something from this. In our world that so often rewards the loudest voice, perhaps there is profound strength in calculated silence. By learning to listen more and speak less, we might not only become smarter ourselves, but also create space for the most thoughtful ideas to emerge. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of the quiet mind. If this resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology and human behavior. And please share your own experiences in the comments below. Do you see this in your own life? Are you the quiet one? Let's continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.